best ways we can implement the agenda is by knowing about individual rights. I'm in the Individual Rights Action Committee, and if we can get our political leaders to get back to supporting individual rights, I think we'll be heading in the right direction. So tonight's speakers are Robert Begley and Carrie Ann Biondi. On a personal note, I just want to let you know Robert and Carrie Ann have become good friends of Maureen and I over the past few years. We spend a lot of time together in the Lehigh Valley and in their hometown of New York City, sharing ideas on philosophy, business, and art. Robert is the president of the New York Hero Society, an organization he founded in 2004, which promotes heroism in the culture. He has spoken to audiences and acclaimed at Duke University, Marymount Manhattan College in New York City, as well as various business and educational organizations across America. Last year he spoke about Alexander Hamilton for our Lehigh Valley Tea Party. Robert has authored several essays for Reason Papers and the Objectivist Standard, and is currently writing a book about the history of American heroes. His website is Robert Begley, that's ROBERT.BEGLEY.com, and that's where you can find his writings and speaking samples. Although he works for the Ayn Rand Institute, he loves his job. Robert does not speak for the Institute. This presentation tonight is entirely his own. And tonight's presentation is called Pennsylvania Heroes of Individualism and Rights. So let's please welcome my friend, Robert Begley.
Thank you very much, Tom. Since we're in Pennsylvania, I brought my Liberty Bell on my first trip I ever went to Philadelphia. One of my first memories took place in a crowded bedroom that I shared with three brothers. And in one side of the cluttered room stood a neat pile of Marvel comic books. And every once in a while, when nobody was around, I'd look at them. Captain America, the Hulk, Iron Man. But the one who got to me the most, the one who became my first hero, was Spider-Man. Why? Because he was an individualist. Criminals didn't like him, cops and newspapers didn't like him, but he just went about his business, saving the good guys from the bad guys, then leaving a little note. And for me, as the 8th out of 9 kids who lived in this crowded apartment in New York City, I considered myself an individualist, so I related. Steve Ditko's illustrations grabbed me. The costume, the muscles, the web shooting, and of course swinging from skyscraper to skyscraper in my beloved city. Steve Ditko was born in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1927. When he was a teenager, he saw the new Batman comic, and that inspired him to become an illustrator. After military service in post-war Germany, he left Pennsylvania and moved to New York, where he studied under Batman artist Jerry Robinson, who immediately saw his talent and effort. Eventually, he met Stan Lee and started working for Atlas Comics, which later became Marvel Comics. Lee and Ditko worked on short stories, publishing a comic called Amazing Adult Fantasy. The tagline was, "The magazine that respects your intelligence." Next came Spider-Man and fame. 1966, after being the exclusive artist on Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, Ditko left Marvel and struck out on his own. In In the mid-1980s, I walked into a comic book store on St. Mark's Place in New York, and I saw this called the Ditko Collection, edited by Robin Snyder. This had a new kind of hero called Mr. A. Fully expressed individualist hero. He's a moral giant. This is my absolute favorite illustration of Mr. A, and we see that rights is right in the middle of this edifice. So basically he's saying rights are not primary. They depend on observation of reality, of facts, of logic, of reason. Then we can get to ideas like rights, and then even higher, law, politics, business, industry, and progress. Ditko is 90 years old, and he's still making comics. This latest came out in 2017. It's called the Hero Comic. So he's still my hero. Next, we move on to the next level of heroism that a young boy like me admired: athletes. If I was to ask you, who's the greatest athlete? Who would you say? Michael Jordan? Michael Phelps? I would point to the bright path named Jim Thorpe. Thorpe was born to an Irish father, an Indian mother, and grew up in the Sac and Fox Nation in Oklahoma. Sadly encountered racism both from whites and from Indians. He was often called half-breed. His athletic ability took him to Carlisle Indian Industrial College, where he excelled. In 1912, he went to Sweden for the Olympics, and he won the pentathlon. That's the long jump, javelin throw, 200-meter run, discus throw, 1,500-meter run, all in one day. Then he went on to win the decathlon, which is 5 more events. A statement of his life can be found on his tombstone, which is in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. When they name a town after you, you've got to be a hero, right? So on his tombstone it says, "You are the greatest athlete alive." And that was King Gustav of Sweden. That's what he proclaimed him when he gave him the gold medal. Now, if someone of that stature pronounced that to you, what would your response be? Well, Thorpe just said, "Thanks, King." A statue of Jim Thorpe stands in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was the sport's first star, played for more than 20 years, and he was known to punt a football 100 yards. Thorpe led the Canton Bulldogs to 3 championships, which is one of the reasons why the Hall of Fame is actually in Canton, Ohio. He lobbied to get Indians to play in Indian films, and he performed in 76 films himself. And I think it's an injustice that he was not in the Burt Lancaster movie, which I saw as a kid on the Jim Thorpe story. He also fought for segregated schools, against segregated schools and in favor of property rights. I've always enjoyed looking at maps, and for decades my eye would stop on this town called Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. So last year when I was out visiting Tom and Mo, I asked them, "How far away from Jim Thorpe?" And Tom says, "Oh, it's really close." The 10-year-old kid came out of me, "Can we go, please, please?" He brought us, and we got a photo of ourselves in the statue of him, and the Saunders were there as well. So I want to say to the Saunders and Juries, thank you for allowing me to fulfill a childhood dream. Let's see, Monday they had the Murph Challenge. Anyone hear of that? Michael Murphy, the Navy SEAL who was killed in 2005. It's his workout routine, and there's a fundraiser that they do every year on Memorial Day, which I did on Monday. It's 300 squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, wearing a vest. And I was wearing a 4-pound vest, and I had to tear it off after about 30 rounds, and my arms are still killing me. But I think Jim Thorpe, he would have excelled at that as well. Now, there's a lifelong New Yorker who's traveled all 50 states and 6 continents When I think of the Quaker state of Pennsylvania, one image comes to mind. Oops. As a lifelong New Yorker who's traveled all 50 states, when I think of the great state of Pennsylvania, one image comes to mind. Ben Franklin, self-made man who seamlessly blended enlightenment and respect for reason with the practicality of living a life of industry and frugality, which leads to wealth, pride, and felicity or happiness. Author, postmaster, civic activist, statesman, diplomat, as a scientist, he was a key figure in discovering electricity. As an inventor, he's known for the Franklin stove, lightning rod, bifocals. Franklin succeeded as a newspaper editor and printer and published the Pennsylvania Gazette at age 23. He became wealthy after the publication of the Poor Richard's Almanac. Only in America can you become wealthy by writing a book that has the word poor in the title. From 1785 to 88, he served as Pennsylvania's governor, and he opposed slavery on an individual rights and economic level. Of all the founders, I would say Franklin is the most typically American. His autobiography is a model for self-improvement as he aspired to replace bad habits with good habits. And he founded and ran the Junto Club. For more than 30 years he ran, which offered a forum for sharing ideas and getting feedback and encouraging positive change, kind of like what we're doing here. He exemplified a merit-based society over one ruled by class. It's no wonder that he's on the $100 bill. Some of my favorite aphorisms are, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Either write something worth living, or do something worth writing. In his lifetime, Franklin was the most popular man on the continent. Next, we'll move on to someone who I believe is the most underrated founder, the man who financed the American Revolution, Robert Morris. Born in Liverpool, England. Who else is from there? Yes, but I believe his impact and certainly his impact was certainly more positive than the Beatles, and I think it was even greater. And I love the Beatles. He arrived in Philadelphia as a teenager in 1747. No formal education, little interest in books, but an uncanny interest in markets. Morris founded several canal companies, steam engine company, and launched a hot air balloon from his garden on Market Street. During the war, Revolutionary War, the contributions of all 13 colonies and their citizens was roughly $800,000. In today's exchange, it was around $113 million. Robert Morris, today's exchange, contributed $84 billion during the war and immediately thereafter. A scene that recognizes his impact is called the Apotheosis of Washington. It's in D.C., and we see Mercury handing a bag of gold to Morris, commemorating his services during the war. Here's a stat that this audience would like. He paid for 90% of the bullets fired during the Revolutionary War. In the late 18th century, the idea of credit was not widely known. It's derived from the Latin root credo, which means to believe. Merchants believe you will pay for goods tomorrow that you get today. It's kind of like Wimpy on Popeye. I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today. But this multiplies the actual amount of money that you have. Morris considered money to be credit. He considered credit to be money of the mind. And as is too often the case throughout history, wealthy, successful men are the target of hostility. Many Virginians who considered land and not money as virtuous called Morris profiteer on the war. But Morris used his own credit to save the war effort and stabilize the states during that critical period. From 1781 to 84, he was the superintendent of finance. Benjamin Franklin recommended him for this position, but he warned him. This is one of my favorite letters that Franklin ever wrote. He says, "You are sure to be censured by malevolent bug riders who will abuse you while serving them and wound your character in nameless pamphlets, resembling those dirty little stinking insects that attack us only in the dark, disturbing our repose, molesting and wounding us, while our sweat and blood is contributing to their subsistence." That sounds like just about everybody on the left, right?
Yep.
As superintendent, some of his reforms included significantly cutting government spending. What a concept. By using competitive bidding for contracts and tightening accounting procedures. Even our beloved dollar sign comes from Morris. He used it as shorthand for his contracts that he would write. In 1787, Morris was elected to the Constitutional Convention, and he arranged to have his friend and assistant, Gouverneur Morris, no relation, speak up because the both of them opposed slavery. Anybody else know what Gouverneur Morris did? Okay, we'll get to that later. President Washington wanted to assign Morris as the first Treasury Secretary in 1789, but Morris declined it and instead recommended brilliant Alexander Hamilton for that position, and that worked out very well. How would you like this on your resume? Financier of the American Revolution, signer of the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, U.S. Constitution. Okay, you guys ready for name that tune? Name that tune. Stars and Stripes Forever, John Philip Sousa. Name that painting. Who's in there? That's right, Betsy Ross, showing the 13th star, 13th stripe. Flag for George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross, her husband. I don't know who the kid is. I love this painting, I love this story, and I get goosebumps when I think of the beauty of the American flag. Now, my evolution from hero worship, of hero worship, went from superheroes to athletes to America's founders. Then it moved on to a more advanced stage called business leaders. Charles Schwab, the steel titan, was born in Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, but raised in Loretto. He rose up through the ranks of Andrew Carnegie Steel Works and became superintendent of the Homestead Works, right after the famous Homestead Union-Pinkerton clash. In 1897, aged 35, he became the president of the Carnegie Steel Company. In 1901, he helped to negotiate a secret deal with J.P. Morgan and Company, and the new corporation was called United States Steel. Schwab was paid $1 million a year in salary. That's before income tax, when the dollar meant something. That's a lot of money. Why did Carnegie pay him that much? Because Schwab was one of the greatest motivators in history. Here's from his own insight. He says, "I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess. The way to develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. I believe in giving an incentive to work, so I'm anxious to praise and loathe to find fault." Schwab once visited a steel plant that was lagging in productivity. The manager told Schwab, "I coaxed them, pushed them, I swore at them, but I couldn't get them to produce." Schwab simply asked how many heats of steel were poured on the shift. He was told 6. Went over to the board and wrote the number 6 and walked out without saying a word. When the night shift came on, they asked, "What's that number?" "Oh, the big boss was in town. He put it up there." By the time the night shift ended, they crossed out the 6 and put the number 7. Day shift wasn't going to take that, right? By the time they finished, they crossed out the 7, put number 10. Within a few months, that was the most productive plant in operation. Schwab left U.S. Steel in 1903 and transformed, anybody know what company? Bethlehem Steel, into a powerhouse. A major part of the firm's success was the development of the H-beam, which you can see in their logo, which is a precursor of today's I-beam. Schwab was interested in mass producing it, but it was a risky venture in raising capital to build a large plant to sell a product that was unproven. It was very risky. But Schwab famously told his secretary, "I thought the whole thing over, and if we are going bust, we will go bust big." If he said that today, he would say huge. In 1908, Bethlehem Steel started making the H-beam, and they revolutionized building construction, which contributed to the age of the skyscraper. The firm soared to the top of the industry. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania was incorporated virtually as a company town by uniting 4 previous villages. During the first years of World War I, Bethlehem Steel supplied the Allies with all kinds of munitions, and then went on to build bridges from George Washington to the Golden Gate. So between skyscrapers, famous bridges, and the war effort, we can say that Bethlehem Steel built, bridged, and defended America. Last business here I'll talk about, someone I've admired for decades, Ed Snyder, founder of the Philadelphia Flyers. I'll just read the statement about him. It says, "Ed Snyder was an icon, the father of the Philadelphia Flyers hockey club, an entrepreneur, philanthropist, a risk-taker, and a true visionary in the sports and entertainment industry. He had an unwavering passion and a never-ending desire to win. His impact on the sports world, the city of Philadelphia, and the millions of lives he touched will be everlasting. We miss him dearly." I remember as a teenager, the Soviet hockey team was coming to play against the Americans in all the different arenas, and it was, Snyder made a statement that this is a propaganda. I'm not going to have mass murdering, brutal regime play in the Spectrum. For that day, I was a big fan of his. But my admiration grew even more. In 1985, Snyder was one of the founding contributors of the Ayn Rand Institute, and I'm personally grateful for that. I believe that if 1 out of 100 businessmen understood and defended the moral basis of individual rights the way Ed Snyder did, our liberty would be assured. Now, since there's too many heroes to cover in 20 or so minutes, I decided to do an honor roll compilation here. If anyone has any questions about these names, feel free to ask me during the Q&A. William Penn, father of religious freedom, founder of the colony of Pennsylvania. Molly Pitcher, Revolutionary War hero, born in Philadelphia, buried in Carlisle. James Wilson, signer of the Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution, Supreme Court Justice. Andrew Carnegie, industrialist, one of the greatest industrialists in history, and he's, by the way, the reason the Pittsburgh Steelers have their name, because he was out of Pittsburgh. Andrew Mellon, financier, Treasury Secretary, research donor, to get to Pittsburgh Carnegie Mellon Institute. Henry Clay Frick, another industrialist and art patron. Will Chamberlain, world-class athlete, who suffered a different kind of racism from Jim Thorpe, scored 100 points in one game for Philadelphia, playing against the New York Knicks. I toyed with the idea of putting the Keystone Cops up here too, since we're in the Keystone State. Now, each of these heroes was an individualist who faced adversity, upheld rights, some more than others. Let's look at what I consider the best statement on individual rights. On individualism, which is the basis. Individualism regards every man as an independent, sovereign entity who possesses an inalienable right to his own life, a right derived from his nature as a rational being. Individualism holds that a civilized society or any form of association, cooperation, or peaceful coexistence among men can be achieved only on the basis of the recognition of individual rights, and that a group as such has no rights other than the individual rights of its members. Now, where would you say is the one location in the world that best expresses individual rights? I'll give you a hint, it happened there twice. Independence Hall, Philadelphia. The date and the document are known to all. Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that governments are instituted to secure these rights. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is one of the best-known sentences in the English language, containing the most potent and consequential words in American history. That passage represents the moral standard that the United States should strive to live up to. Abraham Lincoln made the document the centerpiece of his Gettysburg Address, which happened not very far from here in 1863. However, as I said the last time I was here, the Declaration of Rights of Independence is a divorce from Britain by 13 free and independent states who were not yet united. That only came after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. According to the United States Senate, the Constitution's first three words, "We the people," affirm that the governments of the United States exist to serve its citizens. Doesn't seem like that right now. But for over 2 centuries, the Constitution has remained in force because its framers wisely separated and balanced governmental powers to safeguard the interests of the majority rule and minority rights, of liberty and equality, of the federal and state governments. My favorite description of the Constitution comes from Ayn Rand. She says, if a drought strikes them, animals perish. Man builds irrigation canals. If a flood strikes them, animals perish. Man builds dams. If a carnivorous pack attacks them, animals perish. Man writes the Constitution of the United States. Today, it feels like there are carnivorous packs all around us. Turn on the TV, look at any college campus. You can see for yourself. So the question is, has the Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution been able to fend them off? Are individual rights still upheld today? How are they doing under the Trump administration? Stay tuned for the answer to that. In conclusion, I'd like you to join me in doing something that I think every American, especially every government employee, should do on a regular basis, which is to read aloud Gouverneur Morris's preamble to the U.S. Constitution. I don't know if you guys can read that. If you can, belt it out. We the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Questions, anyone? Gotta be a question out there.
On the subject of rights, we're hearing more and more people these days try to invoke their demand for rights that come at the expense of others, particularly from the government. Right to health care, right to a living wage, right to all sorts of things that come from someone else. How did we get there, and how do we get out of it?
The way we got there was by abandoning individualism, because those are all collective, what I'm going to call collectivized rights, which is the opposite, because what they're doing is they're appealing to some pressure group instead of the individuals. And as she says, if you don't defend individual rights, then there's no other rights are necessary. The individual is the smallest minority, okay? And I believe that how we got there was gradually over time we've lost. When America was founded, it was a very individualistic era during the Age of Enlightenment, Reason and Enlightenment. So not only have we gone away from individualism, but sadly we've even moved away from reason and enlightenment. So we're in what I'm going to call the age of envy. So if somebody has something more than you, you're envious of them, and therefore it's their obligation to give it to you. And that has been going on, I would say it's been progressing for the past century. Up until roughly the turn of the 19th and 20th century, the country's direction, I think, has reversed. But ideas are primary. And again, from Steve Ditko's thing, looking at reality, facts, and logic, then you get your rights. And then from there, you get these other components that lead to law and order, progress. And so I think also, sadly, we've lost looking at reality and facts. So if we come back to those,